Hey guys, and welcome to game number 33 out of 100 of my Human vs. AI series, where I'm taking on the AI-powered Scrabble bot BestBot in a 100-game match. We're currently at 14 wins, 18 losses, so 4 games behind, but the trend has overall been good, so hopefully we can get another win today here in game 33, so let's go ahead and jump right in. Alright, BestBot is first, and our rack is mediocre. Definitely some good bingo tiles, but the double A's and the B make it a little bit tricky. I don't think we're going to be bingoing next turn, although we are if we get an M, we'd have Abdomina. So it's certainly possible. Are there any other floaters that would give us a bingo? I don't see one off the top of my head, but that certainly doesn't mean there aren't any. But yeah, definitely Abdomina with an M is the one that's jumping out. It's not particularly likely we'll get an M, but it's certainly possible. Feels like there should be something with an R or a T, but I'm not seeing it. Definitely some cool 9s we're not too far from, like Bastinado or even Jabarandi, but of course none of those are going to be possible. Yeah, so just kind of waiting to see what the bot does. We have the 6-letter word of Indaba, I-N-D-A-B-A, on our rack. So that's a possibility depending on what the bot does. The bot is taking its time here. And that's something we've seen a lot from BestBot whenever it goes first. It's pretty rare that the bot plays immediately or all that quickly on its opening play, which is kind of an interesting pattern. I think just because it's so early, I guess, and there's more for the bot to iterate through, that's probably the most plausible explanation for why it tends to be fairly methodical on its first play, but hard to know for sure. It plays Lunt for 8 points. Interesting. So we don't get the M we were looking for Abdomina. Not shocking. What other options do we have? So we have a B hook for Blunt. I'm not sure if we have anything particularly remarkable there. We do have that 6 I mentioned, Indaba, which is 20 points. It keeps an O. It's not terrible, but it's certainly not great. Keeping just an O is not the best. I could play Boa. Keeps AIND, which is a pretty good leave. It's not like a particularly exciting leave, though. Especially, there's a lot of hooks to Boa, like an R and a T that I don't have. So I'm not a huge fan of that play. How about Adbot, keeping AIN? Again, not terrible, but not great. I could also... Do I have any good overlaps? Like Danio, maybe? D-A-N-I-O. It doesn't work. Fortunately, it doesn't work here because of N-I. It doesn't work here because of O-T. So that's not going to work. Huh. Yeah, not a lot of good options here. Not a lot at all. I'm sort of leaning towards just playing Indaba because I just don't really feel like the leave after Boa is that strong, especially without having a hook. Like, without an E, this leave is just not all that likely to bingo. So I think I'd rather just go for as much turnover as possible. Try to get an S or a blank or something like that. I feel like this is probably reasonable. Might not be the best on static, but I think it's fine. I'm going to go ahead and play that. Well, didn't exactly get what I was looking for, and that is always one risk of turning over a lot of tiles, right? Because the idea is you want to try to get a blank or an S, but sometimes you're going to get 2 C's, 2 O's, and a W. So, always a little bit of a double-edged sword with turnover, but early in the game it tends to usually be more of a good thing than a bad thing. But the bot bingos with Restore. So I don't think I was going to stop it, whatever I did from bingoing. But it's unfortunate timing, because I don't really have a good way to respond to this with my pretty dreadful rack. I mean, I don't want to play Mew, keeping 2 C's and 2 O's. That's absolutely dreadful, that leave. I'd love to play off the waters and Cow, because CEOM is not a bad leave. I don't think I can play Cow. I could play Crow. It does block up the board a little bit, which isn't ideal, probably, given I'm at a deficit. But it's also very early in the game, and I mean, my deficit isn't massive. I'm down like 40. I don't think it's time to be panicking. I have a fun play of Owlet available here, but it keeps 2 C's and an M, so I don't think I want to do that. Yeah, I mean, I could also play something like Comic, but I don't like keeping the W either. Not a lot of good options here. This is a very tricky rack to work with. Yeah, Cow. I do like keeping the... I think I'm going to go with Crow. Like I said, it is a bit defensive, but I'm okay with that at this point. Like, I'm not thinking I need to urgently try to keep this board open. It's still very, very early in the game. So let's do it. Amoeba, perhaps, or Aboma. I don't think I'm going to have any bingos, though. I don't see anything particularly good. Maybe a beam? It's not terrible. It's 33 points. Keeps CO. Not bad. Quackle is, of course... Quackle. Why do I keep calling BestBot Quackle lately? I've been playing too much... I've been playing all those modified tile-back Scrabble games against Quackle, and I think I get confused sometimes, but BestBot, not Quackle, is probably fairly likely to play over there and block that spot, but we'll see. Yeah, Crow does, of course, take a D for crowd as well, so I want to watch out for that. I didn't have a D with that play, and I generally am not a fan, if I can help it, of opening up hooks I don't have, but sometimes it's just your best option. Yeah, BestBot taking some time again on this turn. It plays Tom. Huh. Interesting. Very interesting. So that, of course, takes an A for Adam. I have Siomo. That's extremely risky. So I don't think I want to do that. Oh, Cameo is a reasonable play, though. Yeah, that's not bad. 36 keeps AB, which, you know, it's fine. It's not the best leave of all time, but certainly not the worst. So, don't hate that. I feel like I probably should block that spot after Tom, but Tom could also... It doesn't necessarily mean the bot has an A. It could just be a good leave that's slightly constant heavy, and Tom was just the best equity play. But yeah, I think I like Cameo is probably better than a Beam. Although a Beam does block a lot of 8s. So I have some merit. I'd actually probably play Beam, though, instead of a Beam, just because that holds the A for Adam, which is pretty valuable at this point. So Beam, yeah, Beam, it's 5 fewer points than Cameo. ACO versus AB. I mean, AB might even be slightly better. I'm not sure. It's a bit of a toss-up. So, do I want to... I also block Crowd, actually, which is kind of nice with Cameo. Or partially block Crowd, at least. And I do give back the Cameo's hook, but it's not that likely that the bot's going to be able to start with an S with a bingo. I think I like Cameo a little bit better, just to... Yeah, it's better equity, and it at least blocks some stuff on the bottom. So I think let's do that. Oh, that's a nice draw. That's a very nice draw. Should be probably bingoing on my next turn, I would imagine. Got Baldies and Disable on this rack. And let's see, Baldies certainly plays with Blunts. Ooh, Quip, that's a lot of points. Wow, went from Tom to Quip. Huh, interesting. It's a bit bizarre. So did it like draw the QU, or did it keep QU on its rack with Tom? Very curious to see what it had. That is not a play I expected at all. But okay. Oh, Disable also plays with Crowd. So I've got a few options. Baldi's over here, that's 78. Disable with Crowd is 73. Oh, and it also puts this E here. That's not great with an X unseen. So Baldi's seems considerably better. There are no other 7s. Don't think there are any crazy 9s or anything. and it's not particularly easy to play 8s on this board. So those might actually be my only playable bingos. I think I'm going to go over here. Oh, that's another very nice draw. Rex sign, well, Rex signs with a blank S, that plays right here at the minimum under restore. It's 89. So that's not a bad option. Probably just dropping EX is better, though. I mean, well, 53 and keeps the EINR blank. I'm pretty likely to bingo. Oh, there's also Crown. I forgot about Crown also, in addition to Crowd. I guess partly I forgot about because I didn't have an N, but now I have an N and now I see it. I don't think I really have anything there anyway. But something to watch out for. Yeah, so what's better, Rex signs or X? It's probably close. I mean, Rex signs is a lot of points. 89. 89 versus 53, so 36 points giving up. EINR blank is pretty likely to bingo, though. It's probably better to play X, I would think. Not by a lot. Well, okay, so now I don't have X, but I have ticks. So it's a pretty similar decision. I don't think I'm going to have any bingos that are better than Rex signs. Indexer, re-index, don't play there. It's not that easy to bingo with the X. I don't think I have anything else. Like exerting, exertion. Nah, those don't work. So, yeah, once again, Rex signs for 89 or ticks for 54. So, EERN blank for 35 points. Interesting. It's close for sure. It's definitely close. I mean, I'm still very... EINR would have been a little bit better than EENR, but I'm still very likely to hit a bingo, say, under restore or with crown. I think I should play ticks. Like, I probably average... I mean, let's think. So I'm pretty likely to bingo next turn. I probably average at least 60 on my next turn, if not more. So 54 plus... say I average like 65 probably. So I'm probably getting 110, 120 combined between the two turns. I mean, Rex signs is 89 immediately, and it does dig more for that other blank, so... I'm not sure. Honestly, it might be better to just take Rex signs right now. Like, it feels weird to not do this X-Bomb when I can play an X-Bomb and save the blank. It's so powerful, but I mean... Rex signs is a high-scoring bingo. Like, 89 is a lot of points. And I'm just not really sure it's worth giving up 35 points. And again, there's enough goodies left. I mean, there's still 2 S's and a blank. I could easily redraw something good after Rex signs. I think I'm going to bingo. Like, usually my rule of thumb with these kind of situations is when in doubt, bingo. Like, I feel like you just get burned more often than not. If you like, because you don't want to pass up a bingo. And I could draw like EO and then get into this vicious cycle of having 1-pointers and having to fish. And I don't want to do that. So yeah, I'm going to just bingo. Alright, I mean, not the best draw, but it's fine. Actually, I'm threatening a massive play. I have How for 60 points on the bottom left, which, I mean, that would really start to take a decisive lead if that stays open. I also have Whoop for 36, which is obviously not as good, but certainly not terrible. There's also How with Equip. We'll want to watch out for that E-hook for the rest of the game. So I have options. It's not the best rack with the WU and the 2 O's, but certainly I'm going to be able to score with it, which is good. Yeah, How would be ideal, because it scores 60 points. It also blocks cameos. So if that stays open, then I'm pretty much just playing it immediately, regardless of what BestBot plays. But we'll see. Up 64, so a pretty healthy lead, but certainly far from insurmountable, especially against an opponent as resourceful as BestBot is. So definitely far from out of the woods yet. But getting How down would really get us a step closer to that. So I'm hoping that stays open, but we'll see. BestBot just played Patley on the turn before. Yeah, interesting sequence of turns. Tom, then Quip, then Patley. Like, Quip and Patley definitely don't suggest a super bingo-prone rack, and I sort of figured after Tom that the bot had a lot of bingo tiles. Especially it took a while to play Tom. So maybe my inference was a little off. It'll be very interesting to see what it kept with Tom. But yeah, certainly some very fortuitous draws for us. I mean, dang it. So How got blocked with Dig. So it's probably either How and Equip or Whoop. And those two options are probably a bit closer. Yeah, How was the standout option, obviously, in the bottom left. But with that no longer available, we need to kind of go back to the drawing board. So Whoop, I think they both score 36, actually. Keeps E-N-O-O. Not a particularly good leave. But neither is the leave after How. O-U-N. O-U-N is, I mean, probably a little better just to mitigate somewhat the chances of having way too many vowels. This does give back some overlaps on the top, which could be potentially annoying. Right? Like if Scrabble plays, say, veg, V-E-G, and I don't have an A or an E, like that could be annoying. I'm not sure I necessarily want to allow those type of plays to happen. So Whoop also saves the E for Equip next turn, which also is a good bailout for me if I do have too many vowels. I think I'm slightly more inclined to play Whoop, just again, I don't want to allow those kind of situations where BestBot overlaps and simultaneously scores and possibly creates a line that's difficult for me to deal with. Because I've definitely had leads that become hard to hold on to after that kind of thing happens. So I think Whoop is fine. Another play I'm just seeing now, though, that I think is even better is Know-How. So that's 42 points. And it keeps EU, which is, I mean, it's not great, but it's not any worse than E-O-O-N. It's probably better. And this also is very defensive. It takes out the E and the S and Rex signs. Yeah, this is definitely the play. So I'm glad I didn't rush and saw that. Because, yeah, that's clearly best, I think. And that's a nice draw. We pulled 2 S's. Both of the last 2 S's, actually. And, yeah, definitely feeling good now. Up 88 points. Cat comes down quickly. So I've got to decide, do I want to play Soju and set up my S's? There's still a blank left. So, I don't know. I probably don't need to do that. It's probably a little bit more sound to just play Jihus over here for 30. I still save an S. See, I could definitely run into trouble if I play Soju. If BestBot has the blank and bingos with Sojus for 100, then I'm definitely going to be in some trouble. So, it does have a lot of upside, though. Like, it's extremely, extremely tempting. Because there's so much upside. Like, if BestBot doesn't have the blank, then I kind of just win after Soju. Because I'm probably going to score 40 there next turn, if not bingo. Like, in a tournament game where spread mattered, I would pretty confidently play this, I think. Because, I mean, after Jihus, right, like, I could still run into some issues if the bot, say, bingos from this G, but it won't score quite as much, probably, as a bingo with Sojus. So this is probably a little bit more sound, given I don't care about spread and just want to ensure I win. And I stay up by 83. Other than that G, there's very few places to bingo on this board. Yeah, Soju is super tempting. But I think there's enough of a chance that the bot has the blank that I probably should just do this. And again, I keep LS, which is still a really good leave. I don't give anything back. So, yeah, I just want to make sure I'm not missing like some other super high scoring play, but I don't think so. I don't have anything particularly good with Equip. So, alright, yeah, let's do that. Alright. FV is kind of clunky, but that's fine. I'll probably just play something from this G, like Givers next turn, I would think. Might even leave that open and just play Flip. We'll see. Depends what the bot does. But yeah, I mean, Givers should pretty much lock this in. Because there's, other than that G right now, there's basically nowhere to bingo. I mean, I guess he could bingo through the B. But that's pretty unlikely. So yeah, we'll see what the bot does. And the bot probably smartly creates some space with Trave. I definitely need to address that T. Trifle seems fine. VS is a little concerning, but there's a lot of vowels. There's 12 vowels and 11 consonants, so I feel pretty confident I'm going to draw a couple of vowels. The V is also not a terrible tile to retain in these kind of situations, just because it's so defensive, because there's no twos. So it is kind of nice to keep the V, possibly, for shutting down a line. Yeah, and Trifle just really exhausts that part of the board. I think that's the right play. Still up 80. Bot could hit something from the G, but it's not all that likely. So I think I need to do this. Alright, so blank is still out there. And as long as I can dodge a bingo from the G now, I should be okay. And I'll probably just play gouges and block it. Not out of the woods yet, though, because yeah, if the bot does get a bingo from the G, it's about a tie game. I'm starting to think maybe I should have... Wow, bonds. Bot is just going all-out aggression here. Man, I guess I just play Vega, right? Like, I gotta block the E. I mean, the bot is playing smartly. It has to keep opening, because if it doesn't, I'm just gonna block the G. Oh, how about, Zouave? Nah, I don't think that's better than Vega, is it? See, I guess I need to think, right? If the bot bingos from the G, what's going to give me the best chance to outrun? So Vega's 27, puts me up 76. Probably Vega, because then the bot has 5 tiles, and it's going to be harder for it to play out if it bingos, I would think. As opposed to after Zouave, it'll have only 3, because I leave 3 in the bag. So yeah, Vega's probably better. It also keeps, well... Ooh, Val heavy leave, but not terrible. Yeah, I think Vega's probably the play. Like I said, I just feel more confident. If the bot bingos and it has 5 tiles, if it can't go out, I should be able to still out into and probably win narrowly in most cases. So, let's do that. Not the best draw here. Wadi. Okay. So, ooh, I have to be a little careful because, yeah, see now, something like trailing through this A is also playable. It won't score a lot, but it's possible. So I need to be cautious here. So, alright, what if I mean, trailing is only 60. Can I outrun that while blocking the plays down below? Like, what if I do this? I mean, I don't think the bot's going to bingo on the bottom. That's 22. Now, that doesn't outrun trailing, though. Shoot. Yeah, this bot has created a lot of problems here, annoyingly. I need to think here. I don't think there's a point to playing one tile, because then I just give the bot another chance to fish. It's not like I'm going to be bingoing here. Unless I think I can outrun it if it bingos, but it seems unlikely. I have like a setup? Not really. Yeah, it's fairly likely to hit something through that A, probably. I mean, there's also plenty of stuff from the G. Yeah, there's a lot of options, unfortunately, that it could have. So I'm really not sure what I want to do here. It's an extremely difficult position. Fortunately. I felt like I should have been winning this pretty easily. I'm definitely regretting not playing Soju now. And just really being a bit more aggressive. This has definitely gotten more complicated than I wanted. Yeah, I mean, if I just play, like, that's also not enough to outrun trailing, which is really annoying. Huh. I mean, this is still my best way to block both the G and the Y. And I don't think, even if it gets a big play under there with, like, TRE or something, I don't think it's going to be enough to win. So then I'm just sort of hoping it can't bingo through that A. I mean, if it has the blank, it's probably going to have something. I mean, is it more likely to be... I guess I should try to figure out, is it more likely to bingo through the A or from this G or to the Y, right? So, if the blank is in the bag, I'm probably okay, unless it has trailing. So how about GI? I'm not going to have time probably to go through all this. Thornily plays to the Y. Rational, notarial, cilantro, contrail, trinodal, relation, oriental, flatiron. Flatiron will play through the A. So GI, I think I just lose if GI is in the bag. GL, is there something? Minority. It feels like it's going to be easier for the bot to bingo on the bottom. There might not be anything with through that A. GN, yeah, I think like with GN, there's probably nothing through the A either. GO, well, there's still trailing. There's just a lot of 8s to this Y, too, like ending in ITY or ILY. Like, I unfortunately don't have enough time, especially with the blank, to exhaustively figure out where it's more likely to bingo. But I feel like I should probably block the bottom. That's what my instinct is telling me. Between the Y and also the G for stuff like grilling down there. I guess I don't really know, but I think that's probably the best play to block here. And again, I'm not worried about being outrun. I'm going to be up 65 points. Even if the bot scores 40 down below, I'll be fine. So yeah, I don't know, guys. I think that's what I'm going to do. Ooh, is there anything? I blocked strongly, but look at my rack. Wow. I mean, I think I still have enough to win, right? If it can't bingo. Trigonal. Is there anything else? I mean, I don't think so. Goodness gracious, this rack. I mean, the bot can slow play, like, a lot. But it's down 65, and it's got almost all one-pointers. Like, even with F, like, what's it going to do? Like, if it plays for 30, it's just not going to be enough. Like, I mean, I don't have a lot here, but I can still play off a couple tiles for, like, 10. Like, I sort of just figured if the bot doesn't bingo, I should win. Because I don't think it's got any great overlaps with, like, TR. Plays, like, Gorget, keeping LN. Yeah, that's just not enough. So unless it can bingo, which, I mean, I don't think it can. It would have definitely bingoed with strongly if I didn't go there, so looks like it was the right call. I mean, I have, like, EMU, EMEU, like, I'm not going to score a lot, obviously, but I have OI. Like, I can score 8 or something, 5. I can get rid of 2 tiles and score 8. So that gets me to 400. It would need 65 points in 2 turns. Like, that's just not possible. It doesn't have scoring tiles. It needs to bingo here, I'm pretty sure, and it can't. Like, I don't know what its best endgame is, and I'm sure it's going to find it, but it's probably some slow play. Like, there's probably not even a good reason for it to go out in 2. It's probably something with Galop. Like, honestly, I can even leave that spot. Like, I can't block. That's actually a little scary, right? Like, I can't even block them. I could play, like, GIE. I guess that's a partial block. I don't know if I have to watch out. I'm going to have to watch out for being U-stuck also, but I think that's fine. Again, it just doesn't have enough scoring tiles. Bot is taking its full time here for sure. Should move soon though. I think it maxes out at 3 minutes, even in endgames, so probably going to see a move pretty soon, but I don't think it's going to be a winning move, unless I've missed a bingo or I have just completely miscalculated this endgame. Which, you know, is possible, but I feel fairly confident. Alright, Goglet does come down, 42, so yeah, I mean, I'm up 23 here, and I mean, RN, it can go out. Play like Kern. You can also slow play with like Trifler and Kin. But, I mean... So it's probably actually better for me if it goes out. So I don't think I'm going to bother to block Kern. I think I'll just play Emu. I don't know. I mean, I don't have much time to really compute this. I save OI for next turn. Yeah, I probably should go out because I save OI for next turn. Yeah, let's just do this. Oh, it is going to slow play me. Okay, Vegan and I guess Kier on its next turn, or Trifler. You're just going to play Trifler next. Okay. That's fine. I can handle that. OI for 8, I guess? I mean, I don't know. I don't know what else I have. Nothing looks quite as good. Now Trifler, right? Oh, Restorer. Alright, that's what, a couple more. Let me pass before I flag. So I don't end up winning by much. I win by 17. 411 to 394. Definitely a very stressful game at the end. Probably more stressful than it should have been. I really feel like I should have played Soju on that turn. I'm definitely regretting that, but fortunate that I chose to block the right spot there and stopped it from bingoing out and winning. So, yeah, we're definitely going to want to look at that ending a little bit more. But let's go through the earlier stages of the game, too, just to see what I might have missed. Yeah, this was a tough turn to start things off right away. There's also Tabinid, but that gives back a big Esuk for no big reason. I think Indaba is better. Yeah, I saw Boa. I bought... Oh, Obi is reasonable, maybe. Sort of splitting the difference, scoring... He only scores one more point than Boa. ADN... Yeah, maybe Obia takes a front C, but that's not too big a deal. It's not like a huge hotspot or anything, so... Yeah, maybe Obia is a little bit better just to keep some semblance of a more balanced sleeve. I don't think ADIN is really much better than ADN, so yeah, maybe Obia is a little bit better, but I think that's fine. Ah, Cowman. I had a feeling I was missing something here. Yeah, I didn't see Cowman. That's probably a little bit better. I mean, CO versus CEMO. CEMO maybe is actually a little bit better of a leave. Not much. Cowman does open this C, which isn't ideal, but I am down. It's not the scariest opening. Scores 8 more points, which is substantial. Probably would have played it if I saw it. That being said, I still don't think Crow is terrible. I mean, like I said, being patient is fine here. I'm not down that much. I have a decent leave. The game is not getting out of hand, so probably a slight mistake, not a massive mistake by any means. And wow, so this is what the bot has with Tom. Fascinating play. Of course, the idea is setting up Cot for next turn, right, for 38 points, making Adam. For going just Hadi or Cade immediately, of course, the idea, too, is that if I block there, it has Cade as a backup. So very, very fascinating and patient play by the bot, trying to get a better Q play, not just being like, oh, I have the Q, I need to get rid of it right now, and keep this ugly MPTT leave. Just being patient and figuring, sets up Cot, maybe could even draw Cades or something, there's an outside chance, or cannot, for a huge play there if it stays open. If it doesn't stay open, then it's got Kadi as a backup next turn. So very, very heads-up play by BestBot of Tom. Cameo, I think, is fine. Yes, Fayoma is extremely reckless. And the Beam is also reasonable, like I said, or Beam. Maybe Beam, but like I said, I figured that the bot probably had an A with Tom, and I was correct. So Cameo, I mean, I had no way of knowing, of course, that it was going to draw a Quip over here, so I think Cameo was a reasonable play. Baldies and Disable are the only two bingos here. Patley keeping DG blank. Interesting. I feel like I would have played Gapey here to try to keep a better leave and try to bingo with Crowd. DG seems so much worse than ADT. Yeah, I don't really like DGT blank. Interesting decision. I feel like I would have played Gapey just to try to prioritize bingoing. Like, ADT blank, especially with the Crowd hook, must bingo significantly more than DG blank. So interesting decision by BestBot here, going with Patley. Yeah, this was another interesting turn for me, right? Take Sir Rex Signs. And normally, if you play an X-Spawn for 54 and keep a blank, you're really happy. But I felt a little happier taking an 89-point bingo right now. And it was a tough call, but like I said, I didn't want to do this and then draw like EO or something and feel like I have to fish and score very few. I'd rather just take the bingo now while I can and then hopefully get a decent draw, which I kind of did, but yeah, How would have been really nice. Really glad I saw Know How. I guess WAP is probably slightly better than WAP. For some reason, I think I was only looking at WAP instead of WAP. But yeah, Know How, clearly the standout play, so glad I saw that. So, alright, well maybe... So the bot did already have the blank with caught. Oh, I didn't think of Jihu there. That's the play. Because now, the difference is it still sets up the S-hook, but not in as dangerous a spot as Soju. So if the bot has the blank, and bingo's there, it's probably scoring like 80 instead of 100. It's a lot less catastrophic, and it's also going to be giving me back a lot of counterplay on the bottom triple. So this would have been the play, for sure, I think. Yeah, I mean, Soju has so much upside. I think and BestBot plays like this a lot. Like, what I'm learning is that, from BestBot, is that sometimes maybe it's better to just play more aggressively even when you have a lead if there's a lot of upside here. And maybe instead of just thinking, oh, the bot could have the blank and bingo for 100, maybe I should think, oh, I have 2 S's. I'm really likely to hit something there for a lot and just sort of end the game on the spot. So either Jihu or Soju probably are better. I think Jihu is probably the best balance. Like being aggressive, setting up those S-hooks, but not in a way that has the same disaster potential as Soju does. I mean, Soju could yield like freezes. It's just a game-ending bingo on the spot for the bot. Jihu doesn't give back those kind of possibilities. So probably Jihu splits the difference the best. But either way, as we saw in the end, I definitely was way too conservative here. Look, though, I mean, if I had played Soju, adverts for 95 or so comes down. So, I mean, I can't say Soju would have necessarily worked out better in this case. But I still think, in principle, I should have been a bit more aggressive on that turn. So yeah, definitely BestBot played really smartly here. Graved is the equity play, but even with the blank, like on this board, there's just nowhere to bingo. You're not likely to bingo through a B, even with a blank. So I think BestBot did what it had to do. It has the blank, it's making another opening, and it's hoping to hit something from the G if I address the T, which I kind of have to address here. And, wow. So for going blazoned and glozed and playing bonds, what a play. So blazoned gets the bot to within 13 points. But down a tempo still, and the pool is probably strong enough that it figured down 13 in a tempo, I'm just going to win in the endgame fairly often. And this is just fairly unlikely to win. And glozed, 54. So that gets it to within 27. Man, that's a tough play to pass up. Like, I know there's still this A you could potentially hit. I don't know. I would have had a very hard time not playing glozed here. But I guess the bot just felt that even with the blank, this board is bad enough that at that slight deficit, even with the blank, its position was weak enough that it needed to do this. And probably figure, like, yeah, I'm blocking the E every time, and then if it can hit something from the G, it probably wins. So, fascinating. BestBot made some really cool plays this game that I wish I could say I would have thought of, but I don't know. I don't think I would have had the guts to play bonds there. I mean, I obviously have to block this, right? I mean, there's only one E left. He's more likely to hit the E than the G, and the bingo through the E, a triple ends the game on the spot. So I think I have to do this. His Zulav is interesting. Like I said, I figured, though, if it bingos from the G, I'd rather it have 5 tiles than 3. That'll leave me more likely to win in the endgame, because it'll be less likely to be threatening an out, and I can out in 2. As we saw, playing only 3 tiles, let it play Wadi and leave 2 in the bag, whereas if I did this, if it plays the 3 tiles over there, it would be forced to empty the bag, which is better for me, so that's something to consider. Tough position, hard to know for sure. I think Vega's fine. Here, yeah, Wadi keeping LNT playing, and wow, not playing Wind. This one makes sense. Another very heads-up play by BestBot, because there are so many vowels left. LNT blank is actually a slightly better lead, especially because BestBot wants to try to hit this A and Trave. And there's tons of bingos ending in a Y with all those eyes unseen. Fortunately for the bot, it didn't draw any of the eyes because I had all of them. And yeah, this turn, I mean, it's very, very difficult to figure out what I should do here. I mean, I think FES, like I said, basically wins whenever the bot doesn't bingo through this A. Which, I mean, the bot does bingo through that A fairly often. But, I mean, I think it bingos, like I said, to this Y more. I'm curious to know. I don't know if I want to go through systematically every single rack, but I guess it's an interesting exercise. So I'll for those of you who aren't interested, then feel free to obviously stop watching here. But I think it's kind of a cool exercise just to kind of show how I would do the math if I had the time systematically. So for those of you who are interested, then definitely keep watching the video, and I'm going to just go through every possible rack here that I could draw and figure out what the most likely bingo places are for BestBot and where I should have blocked. So yeah, let's go through that together. So the way I would start is I just sort of go alphabetically and pick the different 2-tile combinations that could be in the bag and figure out with those combinations is BestBot threatening to bingo. So blank G, I'm safe, right? IILNORT doesn't make any 8s with the G or the Y or the 8, so I'm safe there. Blank I in the bag, I'm also safe. Yeah, pretty much everything with the blank in the bag. I think it's not too hard to see I'm going to be safe. Blank L, Igniter Rioting, but neither of those are going to fit, right? I don't think. And I don't believe there's anything... Yeah, Rigatoni with the A, but that doesn't fit. And then Goitering is not good. So, alright, yeah, that's safe then. Blank L. Ignitory is not good. Blank blank N is definitely safe. Blank O is not safe. Blank O is a loss with the A because of trailing. Blank R, Legation Intaglio doesn't fit. I don't think there's anything on the bottom. That should be safe. And then blank T, Original doesn't fit. Nothing on the bottom. So the blank draws are all safe except blank O. So blank O threatens the bingo through the A. Okay. Now let's look at GI. GI, I think I just lose, right? Because, yeah, GI in the bag, we talked about it earlier, threatens Flatiron through the A and Thornley to the Y. So GI is a loss no matter what, because he bingos to the A or the Y. GL, a minority to the Y for sure. Was there anything through the A? I didn't see it. But let me check on my anagrammer here. Anti-Riot Rigatoni. Neither of those fit. I saw both of those. Okay, GL only bingos on the bottom. GN. I didn't see anything with GN, but again, I didn't spend much time. So LIIOTR blank. Nothing to the Y, nothing from the G, nothing through the A. So GN draw is actually safe, regardless of where I play. The GO draw does not feel safe. Trailing again through the A and Glintier through the G, from the G. So I just lose after GO, no matter what. GR draw. Oh, there's got to be something, right? IILNOT blank. Let's see. Okay, so anything through the A that fits? Dilation, Elation, Intaglio, Libation, Legation. Nothing fits. Nothing from the G. Nobility to the Y. Aha, okay. I didn't see that during the game, but that would hit to the Y. So, and then GT, IILNOR blank. I feel like that's probably safe, but let's see. Ironical Original don't fit through the A, nothing from the G, nothing from the Y. So GT is safe. Now we move on to, well, II is what happened, right? II hits to the Y with Strongly. IL, I feel like I must lose, right? Yeah, Grouting from the G and Roasting through the A. So IL is just a dead loss. IN? Huh, I don't actually see anything. So that would leave GILORT blank. Yeah, Trilogy is a 7. Trigonal doesn't fit. Nothing from the G, nothing to the Y. Yeah, so IN is safe. IO feels like a loss. Trailing through the A. So there's got to be... Oh, Ringlety. I see it without looking. Yeah, Ringlety to the Y. So A and Y, that's a loss. IR feels like a loss, but let's see. Gloating and... Is there anything through the A? Anti-logs? Loathing. Yes, Loathing. So IR is a loss. Bingo's with the A and the G. IT feels like a loss as well. There's definitely going to be stuff on the bottom, right? There's Growling. Yeah, Growling would play. And then through the A? Anything there? Not that fits. Caroling, Geranial, Laboring, Longhair, Original, Paroling, Regional, Trigonal. Nothing fits, interestingly. And it doesn't really matter if there's anything to the Y, right? Because with FES, I'm blocking both the G and the Y. So I'm not really concerned about that. Yeah, so, alright. So IT would only lose on the bottom, interestingly. And now we're done with the I's, so we're getting there. So LN, probably safe, I would think, but let's see. Rigatoni doesn't fit. Yeah, LN is safe. LO is definitely not safe. Yeah, because I have trailing on top and then gridding on the bottom. LR might be safe. Let's see. GIIONT blank. Through an A, iodating, intaglio, ligation, opiating, rigatoni, nothing fits. Ingoting doesn't fit. Yeah, LR is actually safe. Wow. And then LT is not safe because of Signiori to the Y, I see. Maybe there's nothing through the A, though. Ignorami, original, radioing, that doesn't fit. Rigatoni. So LT only bingos to the Y. All right, now just a few more guys. NO could be in the bag. That would leave GIILRT blank, which bingos with trailing again, of course, through the A, and grittily to the Y. So NO is actually a dead loss. So that bingos with the A or the Y. NR feels like it should be safe. GIILTO blank is kind of clunky. Nothing that fits with the A. Obligati is cool, but doesn't fit. Nothing with the G and nothing with the Y. So NR is safe. Now we've got NT, just a few more. GIILOR blank. So GIILOR blank. Nothing to the Y or the G or anything that fits through the A. So NT is safe. OR is probably not safe. Trailing and glinting I see immediately. So OR is a dead loss. OT feels like a dead loss again. Yeah, trailing and grilling, that's a dead loss. And finally, last but not least, RT. So GIILNO blank. Feels like there should be something. Ooh, Gloxinia doesn't fit. Gonidio, Intaglio, Ligation, Logician, Original, and Pignolia. Nothing through the A that fits. Obliging doesn't fit. Wow, RT is safe. So that is it. And now where do we go from there? So basically how I would figure this out is there's a lot of racks that are a dead loss, right? If you can bingo through the A and bingo on the bottom, I just lose. So I don't need to look at those. There's a lot of racks that are safe. They're a dead win because no matter where I go, he can't bingo. I don't have to look at those. Whatever I play, I'm going to win, or whatever I play, I'm going to lose. Then there's nothing to debate between the two plays. The difference is the situations when he can only bingo on top through the A or when he can only bingo on the bottom from the G or the Y. And based on everything we just went through, amazingly, there's actually just the single rack where his only playable bingo is through the A. Namely, if blank O is in the bag, which is a 1 in 36 chance, because there are 36 different possible draws, 9 in the bag, 2 tiles being drawn, 9 choose 2 is 36. So there's only 1 out of 36 that the only playable bingo is through the A, namely would be trailing if blank O is in the bag. There were a lot more draws where the only playable bingo was down below. So GL, that's 1 out of 36. GR, that's another 1 out of 36. That's 2 out of 36. II, as we saw in the game, that's 3 out of 36. Now, there are 2 I's, but drawing both of them only happens 1 out of 36 because you'd have to actually pull both of them. If, say, like IL would happen 2 out of 36 because you could either draw the first I in the L or the second I in the L. With II, you have to draw both of the I's. So it's just like the other ones, it's a 1 out of 36. So that's already 3 out of 36. There's also IT, which only bingos down below. So that's a 2 out of 36. So that's 5 out of 36. There's LT, which is a 1 out of 36. So we're at 6 out of 36. And I guess that's it. Yeah, that's it. So, 6 out of 36 times his only playable bingo is on the bottom. And once again, only 1 out of 36 times his only playable bingo is on the top. So that means, guys, I made the correct play, and my play on the bottom actually would have won 5 out of 36 more times, 6 out of 36 minus 1 out of 36, than blocking the A. So, of course, I didn't have time to actually go through that during the game, but we saw it probably took me about 8 minutes. Of course, I looked up some of the racks too, especially with the blank. It's very hard to know for sure, especially when a blank is involved and you're going through all of these possibilities. I think if I had like 12 or 15 minutes, I could have figured that out with pretty good certainty, or at the minimum figured out that, gone through enough racks to figure out, okay, clearly blocking the bottom is going to be better, even if I didn't get the calculation exactly right. So I used a little bit of instinct here. I went through some of the racks in my head while I was talking through it with you guys earlier, but overall I used a lot of instinct. I sort of figured that there's just a lot of bingos that are going to play to the Y between ILY, ITY. There's plenty of stuff from the G, like grilling, gridding. And the A is just hard to use because the A is obviously a good tile with those racks. We saw there were tons of 8s that worked with various of the racks, but it's just not that easy for an 8 to fit because the A has to be exactly in the 3rd spot. So yeah, it looks like I made the right call, and certainly at least mathematically, and certainly in this case I did, because if I blocked the A, then strongly would have came down, and that would have been a problem. I definitely would have lost. So yeah, once again, I played FES. The bot played Goglet, which was its best endgame, presumably. And yeah, Emu looks right. And yeah, the bot decides to slow play. And yeah, final score, once again, I won by 17 points, 411 to 394. So definitely a bit of a stressful win, especially at the end. It felt like it was more stressful than it should have been. Overall, I'm pretty happy with how I played. I still don't think Jihu's was right. I probably should have been more aggressive with maybe Soju, or at the minimum Jihu through the EH. That was probably not a good play. A few other questionable turns, like Indaba was questionable. Crow was probably a bit of a mistake over Calmen, but overall, pretty good game. Glad I chose correctly, especially on the FES turn at the end, because that was the most pivotal turn of the game. I needed to get that one right, and thankfully I did. So that's it, guys. Hope you, for everyone who stayed for it, hope you enjoyed the more detailed analysis of the final position, and maybe learned something from it about how to process those kind of positions. Definitely instructive and very useful once you start looking at pre-end games in a more advanced way and trying to mathematically figure out what the best play is. A really useful concept and kind of methodology to keep in mind. So hope that was useful and interesting for everybody who watched. And yeah, I think I'll leave it at that. So thanks as always for watching, guys. Appreciate the support, and I will see you soon for game number 34 in a little bit. So yeah, appreciate it, guys, and have a good one. Bye-bye. Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. With the holiday season coming up, I wanted to remind you that I do offer Scrabble lessons, and they can make a really fun gift if you have a family member or friend who loves Scrabble and might be interested in learning about tournaments, or just having a fun experience while getting a few tips on taking their game to the next level. If you might be interested, then click the image right here, which will take you to the lessons page of my website, which also has some additional information and reviews from past players who I've given lessons. If you might be interested or have any further questions, feel free to contact me on my website or on my email, both of which I'll post in the description below. Thanks for watching, guys.